Whoa, whoa. Funky music, isn't it? Funky music we've got on all our shows here at Crafters TV. That one reminds me of On the Wings of a Dove by Madness. Whoa, whoa. On the wings of a dove. Anyway, good afternoon, good morning, welcome along to Crafters TV. My name is Ben Moseby. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I hope you're having a brilliant Sunday, whether you are celebrating or whether you're telling Valentine's Day to naff off. Whichever way, I hope your Sunday is going well. It's our second show of the day today, and actually it is good to be celebrating Valentine's Day with us because there's many reasons to be celebrating. One of those reasons is that if you buy anything over the course of the Valentine's weekend and you spend £15 or $15, this will automatically be added into your basket. It is your gorgeous little paper pad from the Rose Garden collection. That is yours absolutely gratis, free, for nothing, nix, nada. When you spend £15 or $15, it will automatically be added to your cart. Also, over the course of this show, if you comment on this show, if you ask a question on this show, you will be automatically entered into a draw to win not one, not two, not three, but 4 Valentine's goodies, if you like. We're giving away gifts right throughout the course of Valentine's. So just get commenting, get asking questions, and you could be a winner. And that is the whole point about this craft class as well. That is the whole point, to ask questions on Facebook and on YouTube, because it's a craft class and we are really rolling back to the beginning, all right? We're talking a lot today about ink pads, so if you have got any questions regarding any of the ink pads that you've seen on our website, maybe you've seen previous shows and you've been too afraid to step forward and put your hand up and go, got a question, I need to know, which ink pad do I need to use, which does what tool do I need to do this, that, the other. This is the show to ask the questions, because that's what it is all about, getting those questions answered so that you can confidently come in, choose what you want to buy, and then confidently get it home and use it in the correct way. So, any questions, get them in, and as we're going through the demos with Fiona and taking you through the journey, if at any point you go, I don't get that, I don't understand what Fiona just did there, ask the questions and I will ask Fiona. That is what we're here for. It is going to be all informational and so much fun. I couldn't think of anyone better to do this particular show than the lovely Fiona Clayton. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. This is going to be a fab show. You know, I am in my absolute happy place, surrounded by inks, surrounded by all sorts of various implements, and just with 2 hours to sit here and have a conversation, because that's what I want to do. So we're going to start off just by going, what is an ink pad? Now,
yes.
Let's start. The first thing you notice about our ink pads is they are oval in shape, unlike other ones. The reason for that being is this gives you a really nice ergonomic shape to hold in your hand. And it means, if you notice, our ink pads are always raised. Can you see? If I tip that forward, you can see. They're always proud. There we go. If I do it just there. They're always proud of the plastic, which means you can get in with your tools, with your ink pads, and do all sorts of techniques with them without hitting up against the plastic. Now, we're going to start with the one that you very often see. Now, this is the Harmony water reactive ink pads. I'll tell you what, I'm going to do it to the front so that I can show you around the pad. So this is the water reactive. What I love about Crafter's Companion ink pads is they tell you right at the very beginning what they're for. Now, this pad, when you open it up, what you'll notice is it's felt.
Yeah.
It's quite hard, and it's just absolutely saturated with the colour you want to use. So that is your water reactive, and I'm going to be using that. You do all your techniques with that. You can do lots of blending with that. They come in 3 different colours. And
so the clue with that one is in the name, water reactive.
Water reactive.
Reacts to your water.
Absolutely.
I'm understanding already.
Absolutely. Now, your opaque ink is also known as your pigment ink.
Yeah.
Now, this is an ink pad, which the first thing you'll notice, the minute you open it up, you go, ooh, that's a very squishy ink pad. Look, can you see? If I tilt that forward, can you see? It's very squishy ink pad. That is because the pigment molecules need a sticky carrier to carry them through.
Yeah.
So you need a more open sticky pad to let the ink come through. I've now got a very pretty lid there. Look at that.
Yeah,
so that's your
decorating
pigment
that.
ink. Then we have the other one you may have come across is your quick dry. Now, quick dry is the ink, if you're just a stamper, you just want to do something like our layered stamps, for example. You can see there's a picture right there. This is the one to do because these are water-based, but they dry immediately they touch paper or card. They're instantly dry. So when you're layering colours up, you're going to layer them. You see that is a sort of hybrid pad. It's closer than the pigment pad, but not as hard as the felt pad. So they're your 3 different types. And then, of course, in the family, you have your finesses. Now, your finesse inks are for doing your stamping and your outline. They come in lovely colours of greys and browns. Now, these are for your outline stamping and for stamping sentiments if you want to stamp in a dark colour. It tells you on the front of them what you need them for. The waterproof is for all your watercolouring. The alcohol proof is for when you use your pen. So we even put a picture on the front there. If it's got a brush on it, it's waterproof. It's got a pen on it, it's for your pens. So that's our little family.
So a quick question which has come in straight away then. So Les55 says, Fiona, what are the best inks for stamping sentiments as mine don't come out clearly?
Okay. Right, there are a couple of things. Let's start. Who answered that?
That was Lesp55.
Okay, I'm going to show you some different stamping card. Right, I've got 3 bits of card here. They're all white card.
Okay.
All white.
What?
So the question is, which one is going to... I'm going to take one ink pad. So we're going to go with this one, which is a purple water reactive ink pad. So let's load up one of my little tools.
Okay.
So this is a blending tool we have on the show. And what we're going to do immediately is just put a nice clean pad on there. Now have a look. Load it up. There's plenty on there. Now the thing about the foam is you don't want it to suck all the colour up. You want the colour to rest on the edge of it. So if I go onto this cardstock, oh, I can move it around quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah? Can move it around quite a bit. If I go onto this cardstock, yeah, it's not bad, but it's grabbing, isn't it? Can you see? Mm-hmm. And if you go onto this card, can barely move it at all and it's grabbed. This is because there are 3 different things which impact your ability to stamp. It's going to be the cardstock, using the right cardstock with the right ink pad with the right tool. Yeah. Now that all looks like white cardstock. So how do you tell?
That's a good question.
How do you tell?
Hopefully you're going to answer it.
I am going to answer it, absolutely. So when you are stamping and you want a nice crisp image, I've just got, this is just a flat. I'm going to turn this over so that you can see what I'm doing. There we go. So when you're turning it over, you want a nice crisp image. Will that fit on there? Yeah, it will. So here we go. So this is the water reactive ink in fuchsia.
Okay.
So same stamp, but water reactive ink. So we're just going to stamp that on that bit of card. There we go. That's not bad.
That's all right.
That's not bad. It's a bit bubbly, but it's not bad, is it? If I then use the quick dry ink, I'll just wipe this off. Oh, I forgot to bring myself in a damp cloth. Oh well, we'll just use this for now.
Do you want me to shout you up one?
I will do. I'm just taking off some of that ink. So now we're going to use the ocean blue. This is a quick dry ink. Now I would say if you were just wanting to do stamping and you're not wanting to do colouring in, you purely want to stamp images or sentiments, I would go for the quick dry or the finesse, because finesse means fine lines and the quick dry gives you that same kind of thing. So then if I go with the finesse right here, now can you see how sharp? Can you see a difference?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, this is really sharp.
Yeah.
That one's slightly more bubbly. So this is your quick dry ink, and then of course finally, let's grab a piece of card and actually I'll tell you what, I'll do it on that. Now this is that tricky card, that's that cardstock which did that. And I'm going to use the finesse on this just to make a point. So here we go. So this is just the finesse waterproof ink pad that I'm just inking it up with. And this was that dodgy cardstock. And what we're going to do is stamp. And still, can you see? Because I used a thin ink, so the finesse is going to dry immediately. So even if your cardstock looks like any other cardstock you've got in your collection, just because you can stamp a nice fine line with your finesse doesn't mean it's going to work with your water reactive ink pads. So your fine line is not an indicator that your water reactive ink pads are going to be fabulous to use, because that's grabbing, and it is to do with the chalk which is in the card, and you can't tell from looking at a white piece of card what it's going to do. So you've got to choose the right card for the right technique. But if you're going for fine lines or you're going for your sentiments, I would use your finesse. I've moved that out of the way so you can't see it. There you go. I would use your finesse or your quick dry, because they gave you the best results.
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, good. Right, shall we have a play? Because one of the things that people asked me was about backgrounds. And that is a very good place to start because I like doing backgrounds. So let's move some of these out the way and put them back in the right place.
And don't forget, you can keep sending your questions in. I know Fiona's got a few questions which she's going to be tackling and sort of demoing as she goes, because questions have already come in. But if you want to ask any questions, Facebook and YouTube, you need to comment. And actually, just by sort of saying hello and asking a question, you'll automatically be entered into our little draw to stand the chance of winning one of 4 prizes that we're going to give away over the course of the next 2 hours. But as I say, ask those questions, because, you know, if we don't get a chance to answer them on air, chances are somebody within our crafters family will be able to let you know on Facebook or YouTube, wherever you're interacting, and answer it for you as well, because they're very nice like that, you see, our viewers. So don't be afraid to ask those questions. Right, backgrounds. Okay,
backgrounds. Now I'm going to start with the water reactive ink. Water reactive ink pads. So nice oval, water reactive. Now one of the things people have asked is, how do we store these? So I went back, because I know this is one of those things that stampers will argue about till the cows come home. So I went to the Oracle. I went to Leanne and I said, Leanne, this is how I store my ink pads. Is this right? And she went, yes, Fiona, this is right. So our ink pads get stored top up.
Oh, that's how I would automatically do it.
Up. You don't have to turn them upside down, turn them into funny, so store them with the top facing up. So hopefully that's answered a couple of questions. I know there was a lady on the Facebook page who was asking, if you find you want to store them a different way, that's entirely up to you. But of course, that's what Leanne said, and that would be what we recommend. So
good.
We've got...
Follow the Oracle, everybody.
Follow the Oracle, always good. So I've got a piece of watercolour card. I'm also working on my non-slip craft sheet, which is a fabulous thing to work with. And we're going to start by just using that lovely crushed velvet. Now this is in a collection, so what we're going to do is just to create a fabulous background. So I'm using it with our inking tool. Now, if you're wondering why I'm not just using a piece of kitchen sponge or something, the whole thing about this, and if I show you now, can you see that ink isn't pushing all the way through? This sponge is designed just to let that ink sit on the top and not to go into the sponge. So you're not going to get a big soggy sponge. So we're just going to blend it. These inks have also been designed so they blend beautifully. And you can see we can build up that colour wonderfully well as well. I'm getting a couple of... Now, can you see where I've got a mark there?
Yes.
That's because I have my mucky fingers on it.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's actually picking up the natural greases which are on my mucky fingers. So I'll try and use, so what I've done now is I'm using a piece of card to hold it in place to try and keep my mucky fingers off the card so you don't see too many of those. What I shouldn't have done was I shouldn't have put hand cream on before I did the show. But I did, so we will live as we do.
Because you wanted to show the point of what happens when you do, Fiona.
Yeah, that was exactly it. That was exactly it. Now, there are a couple of colours I'm using which you will find as individual colours on our website, but I could not do a harmony show without using parakeet, fuchsia and lemon tonic.
Lemon tonic, I knew it.
It's never, ever going to happen because those colours are gorgeous, and you can see as you start to blend these across, they are beautiful, absolutely stunning. I am getting a few inky marks from my fingers, but you will forgive me, I'm sure. And do you know what we're going to turn this into? So, I mean, anybody can do this, can't they? Because all we're doing is we're just splodging colour down onto watercolour card. And I'm not worrying about, you know, you will see people and they rev it up off the edge and they come in. It does give you a nice smooth surface to work on, but you don't need a heap of pressure. Use the weight of the tool and just do your circles nice and flat. Yeah. Nice and flat. And where I'm putting that parakeet over the purple, you can see I'm getting that nice navy happening there. And then,
here comes the old
lemon tonic.
Lemon tonic. Just to say as well, if you're looking at these tools, by the way, and you're thinking, oh, the daubers, the mat, which Fiona's working on as well, we have got a really good deal, which I'll point you to a little bit later on. A kit which gives you all the daubers that you would need, the little spongy egg blenders, as I call them, and the crafting mat as well. So everything that you need, which I'll point you to a little bit later on. You can see all of the deals on the website for you, crafterscompanion.com.co.uk or .eu. These colours, time and time again, I will never get tired of seeing these three together. They're perfect.
They're just fun, aren't they?
Yeah.
They are just, you know, if there was a piece of card that was me in a colour, if there was a piece of card, if I were a piece of card, this would be the piece of card I would be.
Yeah.
I really would. Yeah. This is me on a piece of card, absolutely. And just to
reiterate again, because a few people are saying, what type of card are you currently using?
Okay.
You now?
I am using watercolour cardstock, Crafter's Companion watercolour cardstock. It is, without a shadow of a doubt, the best watercolour cardstock I have ever used, and I have tested it against other cardstocks, other watercolour cardstocks I have at home, and it still wins. Yeah. It still wins. It is brilliant. Okay, so that's a pretty pattern. It is pretty. Background. Yeah. So at this point, what we can do, these are just filled with water. These are misters, they're just filled with nice clean water. Spraying it on my hand.
So this is
splatting it.
Yeah, this is why I love the water reactives, because you can splat, you can splodge, you can do all these great things.
Absolutely. Do you know what you're going to do? I hope is you're going to go into your craft room and get these out and have a play. I mean, just look at that. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Do you know? I'd keep that. I'd find a use for that. Look at that.
Awesome.
Doesn't that look fabulous? It really is beginning to look amazing. So what we're going to do now, because we're not going to leave it there, this is a stencil.
We've got this on the show as well for you, which I'll recap on in a bit.
We've also got this lovely collection of what I would call tonal colours. So we've got, don't you disappear, crystal ball.
Oh yeah, Fiona's going to do some crystal ball reading for you later on as well, by the way, in case you're wondering what that's there for.
We're going to go with the anthracite and the plum jam, which is in that lovely, lovely collection that we've got here. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over now and start adding some colour.
All right.
So what I do tend to do is keep, here we go. So what we're going to do is now the stencil is from some stencils we've got on the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm squidging around because I can't, it's called...
That one is the Time to Make a Wish.
Make a Wish. Background stencil and focal stamps. Love these stencils. They are amazing. If you've got them in your collection, they are still looking pristine. What are you doing? what are you doing? Because they are just gorgeous.
Now, whilst you're just adding it, there's so many questions coming in. I did say I'd interrupt you more than I normally would.
Away, Ben.
So let me interrupt and say, so Terry's asking, the watercolour card, is it bright white, as a lot of them are off-white? I'd say that's...
It's that colour.
I'd say that's fairly bright, isn't it?
I would say that's fairly bright. It's certainly not cream. It's certainly a white. But you know, whites vary. That's white stamping card.
Yeah.
This one in this hand. That's white watercolour card. So it's definitely white, not cream.
Okay.
Hope that answers it?
Yep, I think it does.
Good.
And Liz is asking, this is a good question. And so obviously you're using your round blending tool at the moment. This is the old question, it always crops up. So Liz says, Fiona, would you always use the circular blending tool rather than the rectangular one? What's the pros and cons?
Okay. Absolutely not. None. It depends what feels comfortable in your hand. I tend to use the smaller round one when I want to get into detail, but there's nothing to stop me, I'm going to use it and show you, using the square one. So it really is about what feels comfortable in your hand and for the area you're doing, because I would use exactly the same as you can see here, just to pop.
So it's just preference,
down
really.
there. Yeah, personal preference, personal preference. The square one tends to cover a larger area quicker.
Yeah.
So if you want to do big backgrounds, go for the square one, which is actually a rectangle.
Yes, exactly right. But,
look, look now.
Oh, come on.
Layering it up, you're starting to get fabulous colours. It looks really quite mystical, doesn't it?
It does.
And if you want to enhance that vignette around it, let me just dry my mat off because I've made it a bit wet. There we go. There we go. So we'll just pop that to one side. This is just like being at my craft desk at home. I am loving this. This is anthracite colour, by the way. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going round the outside in quick circular motions. Yeah. Just to give myself a nice deep frame, just so that it focuses on that nice bright bit I've got in the middle of the card. Any other questions, Ben?
Oh, there's loads, Fiona. You just let me know when you want them. So this question,
I
think you might come back onto this later on, because I know we're going to be looking at the pigment inks. But Jane says,
yes.
Ben, could you please ask Fiona if you can use pigment inks to do backgrounds?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. We'll do some of those as well. Fantastic. We've got some lovely stencils and I can do some backgrounds with those too.
Lisa says on Facebook, what would you use to seal the water reactive inks? Let's say you decorate an envelope and want to seal the ink. Do you need to seal it then before you
I've
mail it?
never, I can honestly say, I have never sealed anything I've used water reactive inks on. You do run the risk that if they get damp, they're going to run. So my suggestion would be you probably go for one of our stick and spray varnishes. Yeah. If you want to seal it. But I have to say, on cards and things that I've sent or on projects that I've done, I've never felt the need to seal it. Okay. But then I've never taken it into the shower with me. So there we go. That's an answer really, isn't it? There you go. Oh, there you go. So you can see you've got that lovely vignette going on there. And what you could do, if you're going, oh, it's still a bit dark, let's do a little bit more. Let's do a little bit more. Here we go. And then we're going to find a sentiment and just pop a sentiment right on there.
Love these demos with the water reactives.
I mean, just look at the layers when you add a bit more colour, take a bit more colour out. You've got that depth and dimension going on. Isn't it fabulous? I love it. Really fabulous. Let's find, here we are. Just breathe or just breathe. Just breathe. The sentiment for today is just breathe. And so what I'm going to do is grab my ink pad. Now remember, I said what I want is I want a nice crisp sentiment on there. Yep. So I'm just going to dry it off a tiny bit.
Just whilst you're drying, there's loads. I mean, we've got tons of questions. I'll just keep firing these at you. But Donna says, I only started crafting at the beginning of January. I've learned so much watching this channel. Even though I say I'm not going to buy anything else this month, I end up buying something every day. How many times have we heard that, Donna? Your products are such good quality. Here's a quick one. I've never had this question before, but I love it. And I said I'd ask any question. Penny's Porch on YouTube says, reference the inks, do they have snug fitting lids?
They don't rattle.
Right. But you don't have to kind of force them off, do you?
There you go.
Yeah.
But they're easy to get on and off, if that's the question you're asking. They've got like a little lip, but yeah, they're not just going to fall off in transit, but they're easy to take on and off.
Good question, Penny.
There
I like
you go.
that. Keep them questions coming. Keep them coming.
Fantastic. Right, okay, so we've got Just Breathe, which we're going to have there. So I'm using that same sentiment, by the way, that same set, because I think it's just lovely.
Yes.
And we're going to stick that up there because I can. And that one down there.
Julia's just saying, thank you for doing this class. Now I know the difference between the different ones and how best to use them. That is what we are here for. And just also picking up this stamp, as I say, the questions are flying in. Lauren says, Fiona.
Yes.
Are there tools that you would recommend for applying inks into very small spaces? The daubers sometimes still seem too large for details in the layering stamps. So could you use like brushes, like tiny brushes, for example?
Maybe. I mean, I've got some tiny little stencil brushes at home, which are wee. I mean, you could get the same effect if you've got any old paint brushes.
Yeah.
You know, the hog's hair paint brushes that you've wrecked, just by trimming them right next to the ferrule, the metal ferrule. And then you're going to have a really tiny little brush that you could use. I mean, yeah, absolutely. That's a really good question. Yeah.
Good one.
Layering stencils. Right, okay. I haven't found the need to, but there's no reason why you shouldn't. Now, I need to stamp these, and I am going to stamp them with...
what are you going for?
Stamp them with? Do you know what? I am going to stamp them with...
Oh, decisions. There's so much choice.
Decisions. Right, I'm going to go for the quick dry.
Yep.
Oops, something went
See, I'm glad in my
wrong.
little mind now, because I was thinking, what's she going to go for? And I'm thinking, if I've learnt right so far, she's probably going to go for a quick dry. And that's exactly, so hopefully you're learning along as we go here. We're all picking it up together.
Absolutely. So I'm going, this is quick dry.
Okay.
Black, noir
Good.
black. There you go. That is going to sit on there. That is going to sit there. Hopefully I've inked it up enough. So we're just going to, whoa. We're just going to stamp that down. I'm sitting down to stamp today. Now, this is a novel thing for me. I don't normally sit down, but actually, look at that.
Awesome.
Look at that. Can I do one more thing?
Go on.
So this is now dry. Look. Look. Now, that was quick dry. Look, I'm rubbing my finger on. That is not moving. You can hear I'm rubbing it on. You can hear my finger on there. So that's not moving at all. However, this is a pigment ink. This is gold Midas ink.
Gold.
Gold. Gold. How are we going to finish this off?
Oh, just going around the edge.
I'm just going to go round the edge with direct to there, just to give my card a fabulous, fabulous, look at this, look at this. Oh, it's just edging this in the most gorgeous, gorgeous colour. Now, I could then cover that with clear embossing, but I know one of the questions people were asking was, will it dry if you just leave it?
Yeah.
The answer is yes, it will.
Eventually.
Yes, it will. So what you can do if you want to speed it up, because that's an oil-based, pigment ink is oil-based. It's got, that's why we call it a sticky ink.
Yes.
But what you can do is just force it dry. Isn't that pretty? Now, I didn't know today that I was going to make that.
Well, and also, just to reiterate,
it's lovely, isn't it?
we're asking you as well, we're asking for a lot in the show, we're asking you to suggest your favourite demos in the show too. So if you like this one, just keep a note of it, because this might be the one that we put forward onto our little crafty walk of fame later. I reckon that's pretty decent, you know, Fiona. Not too shabby. Not too bad at all.
Look at that.
Gorgeous.
Look at that. You could stick that down and pop it in a frame on a wall.
Love it.
There we go.
Absolutely awesome.
So we've just to recap what I've used. So I used watercolour card for my background. I used my water reactive inks to put my colour down with my dauber, and then flicked some water and pulled it off. I then went in again and I used my water reactives to stencil. Then I wanted to do some sharp lettering, so I used my quick dry ink for my sharp lettering just here, and then I finished off my edge with my Midas. Now, look, I'm just rubbing that with my finger so I can show you. I dried that without setting it with my clear embossing. So there we go. You can see a tiny amount coming off, but it's minute. So leave it for a little while to dry. Stick that in a frame. You've got a pretty picture.
You have got a pretty picture.
Look at this.
I know. Do you know what? Get Fiona a pair of slippers and a dressing gown, and maybe a glass of gin. And it's just like she's at home.
I love it. Oh my word! This is going to be this time is just going to fly, isn't it?
It is. Well, we're already half an hour in. Really? There's so many questions coming in, so we'll take a break for a second, just whilst Fiona resets, and then we'll come back. I'm keeping an eye on all these questions, and I will get as many to Fiona as we can over the course of the next hour and a half, because that's what we're here for. However, I just do want to cut away for a second and just show you the deal, the bundle that you're going to get on the water reactive, so you know the colours that you're going to get. So you've seen the kind of things that you can achieve. You now know and kind of have an idea in your mind what you can use the water reactives for. So let's show you this bundle that we've got on the show. We're calling this the Essentials Collection. It's normally $64.97 or $90.35. You're saving $15.87 or $20.35 on this. It comes down to £50 or $70. If you're platinum, of course, that comes down to £40 or $56 today. Now, so you're getting 13 of these ink pads. The colours that you will receive are as follows. You're going to get your straw bale, plum jam, you've got your seal brown, your anthracite, your spar blue, twilight grey, misty morning, your smoke plume, your baby blue, your sandstorm, your smoke emerald, your crushed velvet, and your damson wine. So a nice selection of colours there to get you started. And as we said, now you have an idea of the sort of things that you can do. If you've just wanted to get into using water reactive inks, you can get these home now. You can re-watch this show back, because of course, don't forget, all these shows will stay up on Facebook, they'll stay up on YouTube. I think YouTube is the place to go, because you can almost, once you signed in there, you can subscribe to our page, and then you can make your own little place. You can search within the Crafters TV page for all these different shows. Bookmark this one if you like, and then you can save it, come back to it. Then once you've got your water reactive inks delivered to you, you can then, of course, watch this back and craft along with Fiona. Obviously not live, but you can still craft along at your own time as well, which is absolutely perfect. The other thing to mention, of course, as well, the fact that this water reactive ink pad collection is over £15, you will get that free 6x6 paper pad from the Rose Garden collection thrown in for free. Now, lots of people have been asking about all of the different tools that you'll need to be able to have at your disposal. This collection that we can see here is brilliant, because pretty much you have got everything that you need to get going. So, as you can see down the front here, you have got your mat. Okay, so brilliant for doing all of your techniques, and you're not going to get it all over the place. You've then got, so whichever one you want to go for, you've got them both. You've got your rectangular tool, and you've also got your round tool as well, your round dauber tool, and you've got replacement heads for each. So 10 for your round, 10 for your rectangular. Again, great if you've got all of the different colours like we're going to be giving you within the bundles. That's brilliant. You've then got your mixing palette as well. Again, super brilliant for kind of mixing up your own colours and getting really kind of crafty and just having a lot of fun with those. Then you've got your blending eggs, as I call them. I'm sure there's a better name for them like that. But you're getting all 4 of those included, and then you're also going to get 4 of your spray misters as well. So it really is a super deal. Everything that you need to kind of start getting inky with. That is at £31 or $47 today. And of course, you're making a saving of $16.91 or $25.55. And once again, because that deal is over your £15 or $15, you'll also get your Rose Garden paper pad for free as well. How awesome is this today? Brilliant stuff. And I love the fact that, as I say, you're getting these great deals and you're getting these home, and it's almost like we're giving you this craft class for free as well, because you know what, if you went into your store to buy these, you wouldn't have, someone there giving you a half-an-hour tutorial on how to use them, or you wouldn't have like video content to be able to take home and use forever. That's why people love shopping with us, because you've got all this content which you can come back to time and time and time again. Now, if you want to look at those stencils that Fiona was using in the last demo, I can do that for you as well. These are gorgeous. This is the one, in fact, that Fiona was using just a moment ago. The deal on this, by the way, just seen it on the screen, that's great. $35.64 or $45.64 is the deal, saving $20.28 or $25.96. Again, qualifies you for your free Valentine's gift with this as well. But this is the one that Fiona was using. So this is your Make-A-Wish. And as you can see, with both of these, or all of these, I should say, rather, you do get your fantastic stencils. So with this one, you've got your little dandelion clock and this gorgeous, gorgeous background stencil there. And then you've got all of the stamps to incorporate within it as well. Just Breathe, Make-A-Wish and Set Free. But wait till you see what else you get within this bundle. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. You've got with this your Life is a Journey. How gorgeous is this? With that sort of map of the world going on here. Then you've got all these gorgeous sentiments. Love the little compass stamp that you've got in the bottom corner there, just to create some really, really beautiful cards. And this is the kind of thing, if I just quickly show you, there's so much. This is the kind of thing that you can create with these using all of the different inks that you've got within these collections. Next up is your It's Time. Again, you've got this beautiful background design. Love the bit more sort of steampunky, I suppose, really. You've got the sort of inner workings of the clock there. You've got all these beautiful sentiments like never give up, great things, take time, and you are ready. Next in this collection, it is a bumper one for this price, let me just tell you. This one's got a bit more of an autumnal feel to it, the Back to Nature. You've got sort of like that sort of textured bark effect going on there with all these gorgeous leaves in your stencil, all the foliage going on. You've got Enjoy Your Day, Happy Birthday. Producer George has just gone, ooh, this is one of the first ones I'd use. I don't know why, she doesn't talk like that at all. But that's how excited she was about it. So then also you've got Life Happens. Love this. For those of you who are looking for kind of crafty bits and pieces for men's cards, you've got a brick wall there. Why did I say it like that? A brick wall. You've also got all of these gorgeous cogs and sort of bits and pieces included in there as well. And then some lovely sentiments. If you can dream it, you can do it. Life is what happens to you while we are making other plans. Next up, keeps going, better go through this a bit quicker. You've also got your Write Your Own Story. I love this one because you've got loads of splodges and the splats, and then you've got all the letters, almost like they're jumping off the typewriter, aren't they? Do you remember like the intro to Murder, She Wrote, when she used to be typing away there, Angela Lansbury, typing away with all the letters flying off. That's what it looks like to me. And you've got Just For You, Because You're Awesome, and more as far as your sentiments are concerned. This one is also included. How big is this bundle? It's never ending. Happiness Blooms, you've got that gorgeous trellis, all these florals, and then more beautiful stamps to work with it too. Then we've got, I know, never ending, your music and lyrics. How cool is this? I love that stave, that sort of floating stave with all of the musical notes and the treble clef. Music is what feelings sound like. Life is the music and more. And then finally, we've got back to the beginning. I told you that was a bumper bundle. 56 elements you're going to get there for $35.64 or $45.64. Perfect partner to go with your water reactives? I think maybe so. That's the great thing about this show as well. We're not just going, here you go, here's a few ink pads, off you go and find your own stamps and stencils and stuff. We're giving you the opportunity actually to kind of pair them up, some perfect partners for your Valentine's. See what we did there? Because it's Valentine's perfect partners. You just think we throw these shows together. Oh no, lots of thought goes into it. Right, let's go over to the creative side of the studio now and see what Fiona's up to. What are you doing? Oh, hang on a minute, she's got a crystal ball out.
Crafty crystal ball.
Ooh.
Crafty crystal ball. Now, I need to look at this now. I'll tell you why. Because Leslie...
Can I dim the lights a bit?
If you really want to. Leslie Cullen, you're playing now, Ben. Leslie Cullen has asked me a very serious question. And the question she's asked me...
Does that work?
...is, Fiona, what I need you to tell me... It looks fabulous. She said, what I need you to tell me is, what is the safe place where I've put my ink pads? And the answer, Leslie, is coming to me. And the crystal ball is telling me they're going to be in the last place you look. There you go. The crystal ball has spoken. Right, I'm glad we could clear that up for Leslie.
Brilliant.
Right, okay, we're going to play with the pigment inks because this is one of those ones that people really ask a lot of questions about because they get the water reactive, they know what they do, but the pigment inks can be a bit of a challenge. So, what we're going to do, we've got a lovely collection of pigment inks on here. So I'm just going to grab a few of them. We've got Honey Pot, Parakeet, and we're going to go Fuchsia as well. There we go. So we've got all of those. Now, again, what we can do here is I've got, look, lots of different papers and cardstock for this. Now, the first thing, do you remember what we said about the pigment ink is it's on a spongy, really spongy base, really spongy base. And this is because the molecules, the pigment bits, if you like, are bigger than the bits in for the watercolour. Okay. You know, the actual, I don't know what you call them, I'm not a scientist, but the little bits. Molecule atoms. Yeah, so good. They need to be suspended in something which is thicker than a water suspension. So they're in this kind of sticky particles. Yeah, particles is a jolly good word. Particles is a jolly good word. So you need an open sponge there. So again, if I were to take one of these, now you'll notice I'm using my little eggs for these. This is because that is a spongier consistency than that, and I find these eggs work better with the pigment ink. Yes. Okay, so we're just going to dab our egg on, and again I've got different bits of cardstock so I can show you. So will it dab on black card? Let's have a look. For sure it will. And can you see it's almost oily and shiny? Oh yeah. On there, and I can spread it around. There we go. So it's spreading around, and you can build up the layers of colour. However, here's that random white card that I've got again. It's even spreading on that a bit. It's not as good, but it is spreading, isn't it? Yeah. Because this is oily and it's sitting on the surface of the cardstock. So basically, when you're using pigment inks, you don't have to be as worried about the type of cardstock that you're using, because look, it is spreading because it's oily. It's kind of spreading on most of them, and I've got a mixture there of craft card, black card, stamping card, and white card. Yeah. So they're going to work on different ones because unlike the water reactive, they're sitting on the surface in that lovely oily texture that we've got. So the question mark is, can we do backgrounds with these? And the answer is, oh, absolutely we can. Yo. So let me just get that out of the way.
Just whilst I'm finished just doing that, a few of you asked about the sentiment that Fiona used on the previous demo, the Just Breathe. That comes from the background stencil set that I just went through the boards on. It's from the Make-A-Wish set, which comes within that complete bundle. So that's where that particular sentiment comes from for those of you who were asking on that one.
So I think the question was, can we use...
Oh yes, pigment inks for backgrounds.
Pigment inks for backgrounds.
Yes,
and
it was.
the answer is, yeah, we can. Yeah. You can see we're just getting a swirl of colour going on there. Now they take a while. I would say they take a while just to work in, and if you really want an intense colour, you just need to add layers and layers and layers, but we've got an interesting colour going on there. It's just fabulous. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I'm going to use the parakeet. I'm going to use the parakeet. Now the parakeet comes with the inks that we've got. I'm pretty sure it's actually in that pigment collection, isn't it?
It is within the collection, definitely. 100% it's there.
Fantastic.
Yeah. There's some lovely colours in there actually, because you've got the honey pots in there too. Yeah. You've got some lovely blues in there. The pink tulip, which I see a lot, that comes out. I'll go through the full list for you, but yeah, there's some lovely, all the fuchsias there, of course, too.
So you can see, you can use this just to create your own splodgy backgrounds. I'm going to put some parakeet on there as well. No, I'm not. I've put the parakeet on. I'm going to put some honey pot on there. Honey pot, honey pot. You'll notice I'm using a different sponge, by the way, for each colour. But you can also blend with these. So look, as I put in that honey colour over the parakeet, it's turning into a green. When I put the honey over the pink, it's intensifying the pink as well.
So if you're wanting a blend of colour, then the opaque inks pads are best for that then, really, are they, for blending?
No, I would say either of them work really well. What you can do with your pigment ink is you can put them on with a brayer. Yeah. So I'm showing you how to put them on with a sponge, but you can put them on with a brayer. So I'm just dabbing and moving. But look, if I then splash that with water, as what we did with the other one,
yeah,
and then try and do the same thing, nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
Well, you're getting a little bit of transfer of colour, but nothing. You're not getting that water reactive because this is an oil-based pigment. Does that, hopefully that
Yeah,
makes
absolutely
sense?
it does.
Now, I want to show you something. Look at the state of this. Look at the state of this.
Oh.
Now this is a well-used, well-loved egg.
It is.
Yeah, you can see, and it looks like it's absolutely covered
Yeah.
in ink, doesn't it?
What do you do with the scissors there?
Let me just, there we go. Just to show you, look,
Yeah.
there is still
A bit on there.
some bit on there. Watch what happens if
You're destroying, is that
I'm
yours?
destroying it for the sake of education, Ben.
Oh, okay. We'll allow you to do that then. Okay.
Look, that is important, and that is why when we say get your mini eggs or get your blending tools, this is not like using a makeup sponge. If you did that to a makeup sponge, that colour would be all the way through. But what it does is it sits on the outside. No matter how much you put on it, it sits on the outside and it doesn't go in, which means you can use it time and time again and you're not going to get a saturated little egg.
Yeah.
Yeah? So hopefully that's cleared that up. Somebody asked me whether you could actually use your them for makeup sponges. Honest answer is I have no idea.
Well, give it a go.
No idea.
Let us know.
Yes. Right, okay, so the other thing you can do with pigment ink, which you can't do with your water reactives, is use them on black card.
Yeah.
So I have taken another set because I just love it. And I'm using now what am I using? Write Your Own Story. Write Your Own Story.
Oh, I love this one. This is the one with the letters flying off, isn't it? And the splodges and splats.
It absolutely is. I'm just going to... I want to get a bit of background colour on there nice and quickly. And I did say you can use your brayer to transfer colour onto the cardstock. So what I'm going to do is ink up my brayer. Now, look what's happening. I can put my brayer across the whole of the edge of this ink pad without catching on any of the edges.
I see. Great design.
Great design, great design. It's almost as if Leanne knew that we would do this when we got our ink pads home, and she was so right. There we go. So we're going to get some of that going on. And I'm working on my non-stick craft sheet.
Yeah.
And what we're going to do is just start putting down.
It's like your big wallpaper brush, this one, isn't it?
It is. It's fabulous. It's a lovely way of getting colour down onto cardstock, and it works so well. Really lovely. And the nice thing about that this mat is you can just wipe it clean afterwards, but it gives me a nice quick card and colour base going on now. I'm just going to wipe that quickly because I want to put that bright pink on as well.
The mat, of course, included in your essential tools collection, which we've got on the show. Super handy to have that, of course. Especially if you haven't got a craft room as well. If you haven't got a crafty room, you have to do it on the dining room table. That mat is perfect.
Perfect, absolutely perfect. Really, really good. So what we're going to do is just go on with the pink. Again, I'm just going right in with that pink, getting my brayer nice and loaded up, and we're just going to put a little bit of that pink on there too.
Just whilst you're rolling that over, and I know we're not using acetate currently, but Karen has asked, there's so many questions, Fiona, I'll have to keep trying. What ink would work better, does one ink work better than another when you're using acetate?
It depends what you want to do with acetate. If you are wanting to heat emboss a sentiment, I would use a pigment ink to put it on, and then use your clear embossing powder. So if you're wanting to transfer a design on there, so pigment ink is a really good one because it's going to cling to that surface. Let me see if I can show you. This is plastic. Now, I'm not suggesting that you use this, but just to show you, can you see?
Oh, yeah.
So imagine this plastic was acetate.
Yeah.
you could stamp on there with that and then cover it with your your clear embossing powder, heat it up, and it's going to work perfectly. Right, I'll put that down just to one side for a start. This is fun.
You can see the smile on her face over there. She's in her element, Fiona. I'm loving this.
I am.
She's in a happy place.
Really am. And then here, look, we're going to go in with this stencil. Now, the thing about using these eggs is that you can, if you want to get into, really small areas, you've got that tiny little point on the other end.
Yeah.
Just because I don't tend to use it doesn't mean you can't. Look at that. You can use the other end of it as well, but you can just, here we go. Oh my word, that is just gorgeous, is it not?
Jodie's asking, is pigment ink alcohol proof?
Pigment ink alcohol proof. Right, if you want to use it with your alcohol pens, which I think possibly is the question you're asking, Jodie, what I would do is I would stamp with it and then I would clear emboss over the top, and then yes, absolutely, you could use it with your alcohol pens. I hope that was where you were going with that question.
Yeah, there's great questions coming in. Lovely comments as well. Mary just saying, Fiona, you're doing yourself proud today. Beautiful, gorgeous backgrounds, beautiful dimensions achieved. Marilyn's loving the images,
Just absolutely love this. So we've got a really nice background going on there. Now, again, I could cover the whole of that with clear embossing powder, but you don't have to. So what I'm going to do is dry this off, and then we're going to stencil a butterfly over the top of it, because I can.
This is a great class, says Karen Turnbull. I'm learning so much, thank you. Marilyn Pico on YouTube says, Fiona is a blending master. She's truly great at it. No, it wasn't, that was my big voiceover. She's a master, because she's a master, isn't she? Like, master, she's a blending master. Margaret says, this is a great question. Ben, please will you ask Fiona if she enjoys her job? I looked in my crystal ball and I'm sure she does.
She's absolutely right. Yeah, you don't really need a crystal ball to see that, do you? Especially when you've got a show like this. I don't think that you could have wiped that grin off my face at all.
Yeah.
It's absolutely gorgeous. Now that might still be, it's still a little damp. I can feel it. It's still a little tacky. But do you know, it's all right for now because I've dried that a bit quickly. But it's fine. So what we're going to do is just clean. I might just turn that over in a minute. And I've got the butterfly stencil from, you know those embossing folders that we had? I've buried it somewhere. Right, here we go. Now, what I would do with these, because look at the muck on that. Look at the muck on that.
Clean it every time you use it, would you?
Yeah, but I don't necessarily do it straight away because it's not going to dry on that because this is plastic. So what I tend to, warm soapy water. Okay. Warm soapy water. And I have got, you know those kitchen sponges that you have?
Yeah,
with the rough side on one side?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, when they're too gone for dishwashing, you know, when they've gone really soft and they won't work, I use my old ones in some warm soapy water, just very lightly, to clean those off, and they come up a treat.
Perfect.
They come up an absolute treat. Okay, now if I can just find it, we're going to use that fabulous stencil. Okay. No, that's a hummingbird. That's a hummingbird. I didn't want the hummingbird. I must have put it somewhere safe. Okay, bear with me a second.
All right.
I found it. I found it. It is right here. So we are going to put a fabulous butterfly.
So this is from another collection we've got on the show, which I'll show you in just a little while.
Absolutely. And the thing about opaque inks, even though I've got that two-tone background going on there, what I can do is, that means they're opaque, so you can build up the colour, which will cover. The more layers you put on, it's going to cover what's underneath. Isn't that great? So I can just keep going, there we go, and just cover this up. So I'm going to carry on doing this, Ben.
Well, do you want me to fire some questions at you?
Yeah, fire some questions away.
I feel really bad because you're obviously working and crafting away with that side, and I'm firing questions at you. So I feel like I'm making you do a lot here.
No, absolutely fab.
So here we go then. So Cheryl Hendrickson McCaffrey says, what is the difference between the water reactive inks in the dark teal containers and the water reactive inks in the black containers? I have both and wonder why they are different coloured containers if they're both water reactive.
If they say water reactive on them, go with the label, not the colour.
Yeah.
I think they were just experimenting with a few colours.
Oh, really?
To be honest. I think it started out they were going to have particular things, but the packaging changed. So always read the label would be what I would say. You know, use the colour of them as a guide and then always read the label. Now that's pretty much obliterated that background, hasn't it? Look at that.
Ooh,
that just really stands out, doesn't it? Really stands out. And then we're going to just pop a little bit of colour on the bottom here. I just think they're stunning.
They really are.
Stunning.
On the same sort of theme, talking about cards, so Sandra's asking, or saying, I have difficulty in identifying the type of white card. Is there a way to identify the different ones, or is it just a case of simply keeping them in their labelled packets as I do now? Keep them in your packets.
I would say, from bitter experience, Carol, keep them with the label.
Right.
Or keep a box where you only put that cardstock in. Because the thing is, you can't tell by looking at a card whether it's going to be a white card, which is your lovely white stamping card, or some white card, which might be white stamping card, but actually when you look at it more closely, you discover, no, it isn't. And it doesn't do what you want it to play with, which is very, very depressing.
Sarah says, is there a difference between opaque pigment and metallic pigment ink pads?
There, the metallic ones are shiny.
Yes.
So the metallic ones are shiny. We'll use some of those on here as well in just a second. I was just looking, I'm sure in that lovely collection, have we got a green in that collection?
We have got...
We've not, I've got a green here.
No, we haven't.
Purest green. Well, I'm going to go with Spring Meadow.
Okay.
Because I've got one here. So I'm going to go with Spring Meadow. So I'm just going to do a couple of leaves and then we're going to do another layer. So these stencils that I'm using at the moment, they were designed to go with embossing folders. But just because you've designed to go with embossing folders does not mean you cannot use them for other things. So we're just going to pop a leaf going on there.
What was I going to say? Something just popped into my head then, and it has just totally popped out again. Oh dear.
What was it? It'll pop back again.
It was something quite important as well.
Was it?
And yeah, it was.
Oh.
Don't put me in the box, George. I can't. Oh no, I know what it was. I was going to ask producer George. Storage. Have we got storage on the show? We've got storage on the website. A few people have been asking. All right, have a look at the website for those who've been asking about storage, because you'll need some, won't you? If you're taking advantage of these deals, you will need the storage sets. So hang on a minute. Right, so George has just cheered. They're in stock and they're half price.
No,
boom.
Fantastic.
So grab them whilst you can. Fantastic.
Okay, we're going to go with gold because that lovely lady said, what's the difference between the opaque pigment and the Midas? I'm going to show you. I always think a picture paints 1,000 words, so I've just gone for the other stencil and I'm zapping it on there. Again, I'm still using my egg. I'm just using the side of it so I don't get any contamination. I love these. I think they are fab. I am in my happy place. Look! Can you, now if I move that, look, can you see?
Oh yes, that's brilliant. And still all the details amazing.
There we go.
That's phenomenal.
My butterfly is in motion. There we go. Isn't that fab? Isn't that fab? Right, I am now just going to clear away, add some white opaque to this, and stamp a sentiment, and we'll finish it off. Yes!
Yes! And then I've got about a zillion more questions to ask you as well. Should we do that in a minute?
Fire away?
Oh, so I fire away now?
Yeah, why not?
All right. So let's do this. Let's try and do these quick fire. There's me going. Let's try and do these quick fire. I mean, you might not be able to do them quick fire. So Fiona.
Yes.
Are there a list of common ink colour combinations you and the other team members use often? Yes, there are. It would be great to have a reference sheet or two for beginners.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I will talk to my pals about that and see what we can come up with. But I can tell you what mine are straight away. Yep. Doesn't matter what range.
Parakeet.
Parakeet.
Fuchsia.
fuchsia, lemon tonic.
There you go.
But, you know, we all have our favourites. I do tend to hog those ones whenever they're around because they're just bright and happy colours, and I love them.
And you're bright and happy, so there you go.
There we go, yeah, absolutely.
Donna on Facebook, please could you tell me what inks are best to use to stamp something you want to colour with tri-blends?
Right, if you want, you can use your quick dry because they're water-based. So you can use your quick dry to colour your alcohol proof.
Yeah.
You can use your pigment inks, but then you do need to cover them with clear. But I'll tell you what, why don't I show you? Why don't I show you? I'll stop playing with this because I think I'm just amusing myself now.
Don't stop for me.
Doesn't that look fab?
It looks amazing.
So we'll just pop that to one side. Now, you could seal this with clear embossing powder. Shall I?
Yeah.
Do you know, the thing is, it's always easier to show you what I mean than to say it, and that's the whole point of these. So I will do this, and then I promise we will get on to, remind me, Ben, the next thing we're going to do is tri-blends and which alcohol pen to use. Okay? Right. Let me just cover this with clear embossing powder. Where have I put me? I got myself all organised beforehand. And the brain's just gone into a bit of a mush. Okay, so we've got a pretty butterfly there. And we're just going to cover it. Oh, phew, I just suddenly went, oh my goodness, I really, really hope I picked up the clear and not my white. Because that would have been so sad. Here we go. Now, you can see with the background where I dried it a bit, it's not clinging quite so much, but it is clinging to those other areas where I didn't dry it more so. Yeah. So what we're going to do is and I'm going to like the look of this. I just know it's my kind of thing. But this is the thing, you know, you go up to your craft room or your craft table, you're going to get the bits and pieces out that you play with and just have a play, because that is all we're doing. All we're doing right here. And then, so the clear embossing powder over the pigment ink will set it, but will always also make those colours just appear a little more. Now, I had a question on that page about triple embossing, so can I cover that off as well, Ben, while I'm here?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just heating this. You can see I'm just chasing that around.
Love watching
this.
As
soon as it melts, I am moving it on. Whee! This is just the best thing ever, is it not?
Even though I've seen this hundreds of times, and you know, with all your craft, you've probably seen it hundreds and hundreds of times. It's one of those things that just never gets boring to watch. It's mesmerising. I love it.
Okay. So now I will hold this up so you can see the different layers, and then I'm going to cover off. It was Francine who asked the question about triple embossing. Right. Don't just turn it down, Fiona, turn it off. Right, if I hold this here, can you see now?
Yes, you can.
Right, and it's a little bit all over the place. You've got a little bit, it's a little bit bumpy, but you can see the different colours I've got going on there. You can see the gold, and you can see the white, and you can see that fabulous background. Now, if you want to make that a little more whole, now, come on, Fiona, where did you put?
What are you looking for now?
I brought over my translucent sticky ink pad. But bear with me a second.
All right.
You stay, ask me some questions because I can see it.
Okay. Well, I tell you what we'll do actually. Just whilst you get grabbing that, couple of giveaways which I do need to do because I'm running behind time. So 4 giveaways we're doing in this show just for commenting. We have picked 2 winners so far. First winner of these gorgeous expression dies of All My Love, and from our home to yours. Well done to Christine McCrone, those are yours, Christine. Congratulations. I'll tell you how to claim them in just a second. Thank you for your lovely comment. And we've got a second prize to give away here as well, with 2 more to give away before the end of the show. This is, talking of butterflies, how gorgeous is this? This gorgeous, majestic butterfly stamp and die collection. And this is going to Laura May. Congratulations, Laura. So Laura and Christine, to claim your prizes, make sure you send us a little email to prizes@crafterscompanion.com. Email us now and our guys will organise getting these out to you. Just under an hour to go, we've got 2 more prizes to give away, so keep commenting and you could be a winner. Right, let's go back over to Fiona.
Okay, so what I was looking for was my watermark ink pad. This is the other one we haven't talked about. So this is called Translucent Clear. What this is just an ink pad which is just full of clear sticky ink. So Francine had asked about triple embossing and she'd said when she does it, it cracks. Now the thing is, Francine, it may well do, because as you build up your layers of clear embossing powder, it has a tendency to crack. Now you can get round that by using what they call a triple thick embossing powder. I personally like to use my fine embossing powder for most things. Notice I've turned that over onto the other side so it hasn't got clear sticky ink. So what I did was I made the whole of the surface of that sticky. Yeah. And then when I pick this up, that was close.
Oh, did it nearly go?
It nearly went.
So
now,
yesterday with the sparkle pots.
Layer 2, can you see?
Yeah, okay.
So what we would do with that is and all triple embossing means is we're going to turn this into like, whoa, don't you dare. Turn it into like a little tile. Okay. Don't wear your best clothes when you're doing this because you will get a bit mucky. I should have worn my lovely crafty apron.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't. And do you know why? Because it's hanging up on the back door in my craft room.
There's no use there, Fiona, is it?
I know.
So
right.
You're going to triple emboss. Is triple the maximum that you would do then? Is that as far as you would want to go with it? 3 times?
Say again, Ben.
So this is the second layer, isn't it?
Second layer.
So you're going to go 1 more.
Triple embossing.
Would you never need to go any further?
You probably don't need to go any further, but there's, this is craft. There are no rules. If you want to do quadruple embossing, you absolutely can. But usually by the time you've put 3 layers on, it's looking beautifully, beautifully smooth. And you'll notice the difference between that first layer that I put on and this second layer, because this is going to look a lot less pitted and bubbly going through this second time. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous, it really is. So here we go. The other thing that I would say is if you're doing triple embossing, get yourself a pair of tweezers or something, because you are building up, you are melting something. And the more you melt it, you've got a thicker layer of melt going on there. So if you get your fingers near it, you might find it's still a bit hot.
Right. You sound like you're saying that. The way you said that, like that, sounds like you are talking from experience.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Right, I'm going to hold this by the edges and then pick it up. Now, can you see? If I flash this, look, can you see?
Here we go, yeah.
Now, and if I put another layer on...
Would you need to?
I don't think I would.
No.
I don't think I would. I think I'm going to leave that like that. So there you go. That, to me, is a fab. And can you see how those different inks have played underneath?
They look
and all
gorgeous.
that embossing has done, that clear embossing powder has done, is just brought those colours out. Isn't that fab?
Phenomenal. That's another one that you
Right.
can vote for as your demo of the show, by the way. Don't forget. We'll recap on all of the demos that Fiona has done during the show. but we'll recap on that a little bit later on. We've got more questions coming, so we'll tell you what we'll do. I'll just recap on the collection of the Pigment ink packs so you know all the colours you're going to get, and then we'll do a quick fire section of questions with Fiona as well, so we can rattle off a few more. It's been very thorough, as I knew she would be, but I just want to make sure that we answer as many as we can. So, the Pigment ink pads. So again, we've learned so much, haven't we, over the course of the last half an hour as to how useful these are. Again, a 13-piece essential collection, and let's just go through all of the colours that you're going to get. So $64.87 or $90.35 is the usual price. £50 or $70 is the deal on this. Right, so all the colours that you are going to get are here. It's a lovely selection, actually. So you've got your crushed velvet, you've got your gorgeous damson wine, then we've got our fuchsia, we've got our honey pot, jet black, you've got oasis and ocean blue, then you've got your parakeet, lots of Fiona's favourites in here, your pale fig, plum jam, your pink tulip, your sandstorm, and your straw bale as well. So £50 or $70 is the deal on that one. Don't forget, of course, another 20% comes off that if you're a platinum member. So that once again is £40 or $56 you're going to pay today. And once again, because that's over £15, woohoo! You get your free little paper pad as well, your 6x6 paper pad from the Rose Garden collection. That is bunging for free with any orders over £15 or $15 today. You don't need to add it in manually. It just gets automatically added into your basket at checkout. Right. Let's just recap also on this beautiful collection that Fiona was using the butterfly from a few moments ago. This is the 3D folders and stencil collection. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? Yes. So you're going to get your, sorry, so much stuff on the show. I was like, is that the right set? It is, definitely. You have got your lovely roses. So as you can see here, 3D embossing folder with each of these. And then you have got these gorgeous stencils as well. So again, the ability to be able to layer up and get that gorgeous emboss allows you to achieve these gorgeous finished projects. Then you've got your gorgeous, beautiful lilies. Once again, there's your embossing folder. You've then also got with that your 2 layers of stencils. Here's the finished shuffle. I love this. I can't wait for you to be able to get this home and just feel that detailed emboss that you're going to get with these. Then you've got this gorgeous hummingbird. I mean, how lush is that, by the way? Again, the colours that you're going to get if you're going for your opaque ink pads, you've got some of the colours, I think, right there, which you're going to get with that collection. Embossing folder, 2 stencils once again. Then you're going to get the gorgeous butterfly. Again, the detail on this is just so lovely. And, you know, you look at all of the different images that you've got, you think about how versatile these are as far as making projects are concerned all year round. And then last but by no means least is your precious poppies. Once again, 3D embossing folder. And your stencils included as well. $37.46, $48.56 for that collection, or take another 20% off if you are a platinum member, and that price comes down even further. If you're wondering about Club Inspire and you're thinking, what is it all about? How do I save money? How do I get me 20% off? Here's a little video to explain everything you need to know.
Welcome to Club Inspire, our free loyalty club. As a member of the club, you can save up to 20% every time you shop with us. For every £1 you spend, whether it's in one of our stores or on our website, you'll collect 1 loyalty point. The more points you have, the more benefits you'll receive. As a welcome present, we'll give you 20% discount with your very first order. Once you place your first order, you'll be given 250 points straight away, making you a bronze member. This will mean that you'll receive a 5% discount on all of your purchases until the end of the next calendar year, plus priority postage. 500 points takes you up to silver membership, where you'll get 10% discount plus free shipping when you spend over £20. When you get to 750 points, you'll become a gold member, which gets you a whopping 15% discount on every order, and we'll ship them to you completely free, no matter how big or small they are. Spend over £25 and we'll send them to you via our premium next day delivery courier service. When you reach 1500 points, you'll become a platinum member, giving you the same shipping benefits as a gold member, but with the added bonus of a massive 20% discount on all of your purchases. Now on top of that, you'll receive exclusive discounts, sneak peeks of brand new products, special offers and money saving vouchers. You'll have access to an exclusive secret Facebook group to meet like-minded friends, to find out information first and to be inspired by all the crafty makes. We'll send you a completely free quarterly Digimag direct into your inbox, giving you lots of hints, tips, inspiration, additional offers and some sneaky behind the scenes gossip from the team. So what are you waiting for? Become a member of our club today.
All righty then. Lots of people asking Ben where your glasses are. I might wear them again tomorrow. I just thought I'd give them a rest today. I fancy wearing my contact lenses. It's nothing to do with the googly eyes, and thank you for all the lovely comments. I feel very comfortable wearing them. I just decided not to wear them today. Right, let's do some questions. So I don't feel that you have to do a demo for each of these, but I just...
Quick fire questions.
Quick fire questions.
I've got the coffee in my hand.
If they can be. All right, so Christine, I don't think you've answered this yet. Christine Mahoney. I think, okay, we'll ask it anyway. Can the ink pads dry out? If so, do you just turn them upside down for 24 hours or is it dead at that point?
If your ink pad has dried out because you have been using it and using it and using it and using it, then it is time to get a new ink pad. If, however, for some strange reason you've not used it and you have kept the lid on, because of course, you know, it's like any cup of water. If you leave the lid off and you leave that going and you go away, yeah, and then come back 2 weeks later and it's dry, then, you know, that's user error. Remember to put your lids on. That's the lesson that you learn from there. So if you feel the need to turn them upside down and try, I've never found, if my ink pads are dry because I've used them, I've never found that helps. It might eke it out a little bit, but it's time to buy a new ink pad. Okay. But if you get them home and for some reason they're dry and you get them home, then contact our customer services team because they're a fabulous team and they'll see what they can do to support you. Lovely. Cindy on Facebook says, would pigment ink crack off acetate if you bend it like for a domed card? Well, no. No. Look. There you go. Brilliant. I mean, it's oil-based, but once you've done it, it should not. What you may find, though, and that's a really good question, somebody asked me, they said they'd made a pigment ink pad, they'd made a pigment ink card, and their sentiment wouldn't stick. And it pinged off. Well, it is an oily card. It's an oily base, so you have to make sure it's absolutely dry. But I would also be doing something like using one of your glues, which we'll use for plastics. I'd use your all-purpose or something. Yeah. To stick your sentiment on. Okay. So that was a question. I can't remember who asked me, but somebody did. Therese says, how do the water reactives fare when using watercolour pencils or aqua markers, or would you recommend a different collection? They play beautifully together, but if you want something which is going to stamp and stay put, use either your quick dries or your pigments. If you want something which is going to play nicely because they're all water-based, yeah, your aqua blend pencils, your water reactive ink pads, your aqua blend pens, your sparkle inks, they're all the same family and you can use them together and yeah, you'll just have a fab time because they'll all blend. So if you've got a yellow ink pad and just a blue aqua marker, for example, you can stamp them onto your glass mat and make a green. So there's another question. Oh yes, Elizabeth, using the rotating stamps. Yes. I wipe between colours using a wet wipe, but when I used lemon tonic followed by baby blue, ended up with green. Any tips for cleaning between rotations? Right, I use a microfiber cloth. And if you saw me doing any of the shows with it, I would say a couple of things. Start with your lightest colour first and work up. If you're not taking them off and completely cleaning them, start with your lightest colour and work dark. I personally use a dry microfiber cloth and clean it off and then do a sort of stamp to make sure on a scrap piece of card to make sure all the colour's off and then put your next colour on. Excellent. I think, oh hang on, there's one's just come in here. We were almost done, but there's another one just flashed up. Lindy Creates on YouTube. Is it better to use a stencil or the embossing folder first when using the 3D embossing and stencil sets? I would use the embossing folder first, absolutely, because then you can match your stencil over the top. So yeah, use your embossing folder first, unless of course you're going to use your stencils independently, and then it doesn't matter.
I think, let me just quickly scan through the questions that I've got here. What was the one that we were going to answer that you were going to show? That was, please can you tell me what inks are best to use to stamp something you want to colour with tri-blends?
Yes.
Donna's question. Shall we have a look at that?
Donna's question. Okay, Donna, right. I have got Nina stamping card, Nina card, lots of Nina card, and I've got 3 different inks. I have got my alcohol proof finesse, so I know that's going to be fine. I have got my quick dry noir black, which is water based on there, and I have just got my water reactive ink there. So we've also got a lovely Lee Holland stamp just here as well.
They're on the show.
I love these stamps. I mean, yeah. I mean, we were talking about dinosaurs earlier, but this is a dragon. Oh, it's just like a baby dinosaur to me. It's just gorgeous.
Dragons, dinosaurs, same thing, aren't they, really?
Dinosaurs, absolutely. So let's start first. So when you are colouring with alcohol pens, when you are colouring with your alcohol pens, and your tri-blends are alcohol pens, you want something which is the opposite. Yes, does that make sense? So if you're colouring, oh, I haven't even opened that one yet.
Oh, brand new one. Here we go. Treating yourself Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Right, so this is the actual finesse, and it says alcohol proof. So the minute, I'm going to stamp my image. Now this is a new image. Now this may answer a question some people do ask, and actually this is brilliant. I hadn't planned to do it, but we will answer it anyway. This is a brand new stamp straight out of the packet. This is my Nina cardstock. Let me make sure my dragon's over there. Right. Actually, it's fine. That is just always the way, isn't it? That is just always the way. I was going to say, if it had gone a little bit bubbly, because you remember somebody said about stamping and getting that bubbly image?
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's the quality of your stamp, but actually these are fantastic quality stamps, and that's why I've got a great image straight out of the packet. If you are using lesser acrylic stamps, sometimes you get that bubbling and splitting. The way you can deal with that, there's 2 ways you can deal with it. One is either a very fine sand, with a very, very fine sanding block. The other way of doing it, if you're getting that bubbling image, is if you go with your translucent, just prime it with your clear translucent first to make it sticky, stamp that a couple of times, then put your ink on, and you might not get that bubbling as well. So that's the 2 questions there. I was going to show you on this, but it failed. So this is your finesse alcohol proof. So if I then go in and colour, I'm not going to colour the whole thing, but we're just going to colour a bit of the baby dragon. Here we are. So straight away I can go in, look, and what's happening, what I'm showing you is that the alcohol pen is not moving the lines that I've stamped.
Yes.
Yeah? You can see that's still perfect. I'm going to hold that up so you can see. Let me hold it right there so you can come in close and see. That hasn't moved that detail whatsoever. So if you're using your tri-blends, your finesse alcohol proof are fantastic. But let's see what else you can use. So working on the basis that opposites work. So if I'm stamping, if I'm going to colour with my alcohol pens, if I stamp with a water-based ink pad, which is what my quick dry are water-based, stamp that down. Now that is the Harmony Quick Dry Noir Black. We will stamp our little dragon down.
I'll show you these in a bit actually, because we've got a nice collection of the Lee Holland stamps.
And we're going to go straight in, and again beautiful stamp because it's a quick dry, and then we'll just go straight in again. Look, really not bad at all, because the alcohol pen will not react with the water-based ink pad. However, I can't colour today to save my life. There we go. So I just want to try and colour something to show you when life goes wrong. But I need a waterproof ink pad. Okay, let me just see if I can find my waterproof ink pad. Okay, can you bear with me for a second while I find my waterproof ink pad?
Absolutely.
I've got it.
Oh, there we go.
Got it. Wow, I just needed to look for it. Right, waterproof ink pad. So this is just to prove why you need to use the right ink pad for the right thing. I was just looking for a cloth. Would I have a cloth anywhere?
Is there one in front of you by your crystal ball or not? No.
No.
Oh.
No, but thank you for looking.
That's all right.
I found one
hard
here.
to see from all this way over.
Yes, and it's hard to see when I get in such a muddly mess. Right, okay, so now we're using a waterproof one. So this is an ink pad, which it says you use with your waterproof ink. So you would use it for your watercolouring. So you wouldn't use this one for your alcohol proof. And I just want to show you the difference and why we say that. So here we go. So this is meant to be used with your water-based product.
Yeah.
But again, you've got a pretty stamp off there, haven't you?
Uh-huh.
But if I then go in, oh, can you see it? Right, I'm just scribbling right over it now because I want you to see
it's
what's
reacting,
happening.
isn't it?
It's reacting, it's beginning to bleed.
Yeah.
The colour is beginning to come out. So, where did my other one go? Right, here.
This is a great demo. I love this.
So here we go. I can't remember the lovely lady's name who asked.
Donna.
With your tri-blend pens, Donna, Finesse alcohol-proof ink pads, fabulous for colouring with your tri-blends or any other alcohol marker. Your quick dry ink pads, which are water-based, also really good. As you can see, gave me a nice sharp image and it didn't bleed. No, bad. Using your waterproof ink pads with your tri-blends will make you cry. So don't
you
do
don't
it
want to do
because
that.
look, it's just bled and it's bleeding around there. And I can even show you if I turn it round.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sad. So use your quick dry or use your finesse. I
And
hope
smile.
that's answered your question.
Love that. And whilst you've been doing that, there's a couple more questions to come in.
Go on.
Hayes on Facebook says, can you stamp onto canvas with quick dry ink?
Yes.
My little that was quick fire, wasn't it? I mean, what
Yes,
more do you
you
need?
can.
Yeah. My little melting pot on YouTube says, and this is, you sort of touched on this a minute ago, but is it necessary to prime all stamps for the first time?
Depends on the quality of your stamp. If you're using what I call a squishy stamp, now I did look for a squishy stamp at home, but to be honest, I love stamping, and when I get a squishy stamp, it's not worth the brain power that it causes me. So I don't tend to have them in my life. But if you get one of those really squishy stamps, and you'll know what I mean, unlike this, which I can press with my fingers, and it's not squishing. If you get a really squishy acrylic stamp, which is not like this is photopolymer, but also a good acrylic won't squish either, or a grey rubber or a red rubber. If you're getting a really, really squishy that you can almost squish flat, you are always going to struggle to get a really crisp image with it because of the way the stamp is being designed. However, if you really want to use that and you can only get that horrible squishy stuff, try priming it. Try priming it with the translucent clear. Try a very fine emery board. If it's got a coating on it, that might help. Try washing it, that might help. Get good stamps.
Yes.
That's the best thing. And no, you don't have to prime all stamps, as we saw with the dragon.
And one more. The questions are still coming in. You just told me to stop, George, when you border these. For Holidays Designs on YouTube says, can you use the sparkle inks over top an image done with the quick dry inks?
You can, but because they are both water-based, it's going to move it because your sparkle ink and your quick dry are both the same. If you want to colour an image with your sparkle inks, I would use Finesse, your waterproof ink, or I would use your pigment inks and I would heat emboss. So I would stamp your image with a pigment ink, clear emboss over the top of it, which will seal it. Then you can use your sparkle inks and it won't react, or use your waterproof ink.
I think for now, we are up to date with the questions.
Wow.
Diane on Facebook just saying, I love my tri-blend pens, one of the best things I have ever bought. We've got some fantastic deals on this show, we really have. So whether you are going for your pigment inks, whether you're going for your water reactive inks, just have fun with these. And also, don't forget, you've got that really great kit with all of your daubers and ink pads and all sorts in there. Let's just recap on some pictures of some goodies that we do have on the show. So, your opaques, with what we've just been using there, your 13-piece essential collection. So, in this again, just so you know the colours you're going to get, you've got your crushed velvet, your damson wine and fuchsia, your honey pot, your jet black, your oasis, ocean blue, parakeet, pale fig, plum jam, pink tulip, I don't know why I started speaking in that accent, sandstorm and straw bale. Aye, lad. Aye, £50 or $70. So you're saving $15.87 or $20.35. Take another 20% off that deal if you are platinum. That is £40, $56. Next up is your water reactives. Again, scroll back to the start of the show if you want to see some of the amazing demos that Fiona did with these. I love these because I love to splat and I love to splodge and I love to dab, and that's what you're going to be doing with these. The colours that you get with this collection are your straw bale, plum jam, seal brown, anthracite, spa blue, twilight grey, misty morning, smoke plum, smoked emerald, baby blue, sandstone, crushed velvet and damson wine. Aye, these are really good prices. £50 or $70 once again. So you're saving $15.87 or $20.35, less 20% if you're platinum. That's £40, that's $56. That is a great deal. So, you know, whatever you want to try and achieve depends, I suppose, which collection you want to go for. And again, if you want a full kind of rundown as to what you can do with each, you can re-watch back this show. Now, one thing I would suggest, if you haven't got any of these goodies in your life, then you absolutely need to go for this collection, because this blending collection basically brings you everything that you need to, you know, well, get blending, basically. You are going to get with this your mixing palette. You're going to get your 4-piece set of blending sponges. You're also going to get your 4-pack of spray misters. You're then going to get your craft mat included. Then we're going to give you, I don't think you get the brayer in this collection. I just want to, let's just double check that. I don't think you do. It's a great deal. But get yourself a brayer individually. So you get everything on the screen there, apart from the brayer. You do get, though, the rectangular and the circle daubers with 10 replacement heads for each of those. Your mat you get, your sponges you get, your misters you get, and your palette you get as well. You don't get the brayer within that deal, but the brayer is on the website individually. Look at me picking up the mistakes today. I'm sure you guys throw these in to see if I've done my prep, and I've not been caught out yet today. You have to get up out of bed early in the mornings to catch this guy out. £31 or $47 is the deal on that. $16.91 or $25.55 is what you're saving. Another 20% comes off that if you're a platinum member. But a great bundle to go with whichever of the ink pad sets you're going for. And also something which you want to consider is the stamping platform set. It comes with your 2 stamping platforms. You've got your 6x6 and your 4x4, and you've also got your stamping mat with that as well. That's super handy if you are somebody perhaps who struggles a little bit with stamping. If you are someone who's perhaps wanting to get into stamping to make it a lot easier for you, this is great. And also for batch stamping, just for kind of ease of stamping, this is a really cool bundle to go for. Saving $10.97 or $15.85, £20, $27, which is £16 or $22.40 if you are a platinum member. Now, if you are looking for your finessing pads, we've got those on the show as well. These are kind of your essentials, really. So this is your Noir Black, your waterproof dye ink pad, $4.99 or $7.49 if you want to go for this one. I suppose as far as the colour is concerned, it just depends what you fancy, really, because we've got Pebble. They all do exactly the same thing, but Pebble is $4.99 or $7.49, or Flagstone, which is also $4.99 or $7.49. Lots of lovely comments still coming in. See, producer George is there going, because I was just straining a little bit to look at the screen. She's going, oh, you need your glasses on now. You need to put your glasses on. Yesterday she was going, oh, look at your silly glasses. Oh, now she's saying, put them on, take them off. You look great, you don't look great. Googly eyes, not googly eyes. Make your mind up. She loves me, really. She's got a lot of love for me. And I love her, really. And that's what she just said in my ear. I didn't mean to say that.
Feel the love for Valentine's Day.
There's a lot of
That's
love.
what
Can you
we're saying
feel the love tonight? Right, Karen on Facebook, oh dear, says, I'm going to save this show, rewatch it, and take lots of notes. Fiona has provided so much great information today. She has that, Karen, and that's why we love her. Information, inspiration. That's why I call her the Queen of Demos, you see. If there was anybody who was going to do this show a great justice, then it's Fiona, and she's done it already. And she's still got 20 minutes to go. Betsy says, thank you, Fiona, for all your fabulous knowledge of the Inkpads. I have bookmarked this class for easy reference. Yes, bookmark it. If you go on YouTube, of course, you can subscribe to our channel and then you can find your favourite shows and, of course, add them to a playlist, which is super handy. Melanie Jane Kemp on Facebook says, thank you, Fiona and Ben, for an awesome Sunday viewing. You are welcome. Right. Thank you for all of these comments coming in, by the way. We are giving away prizes in the shows. So 4 more winners in the next show, which is Second Chance Sunday, and 2 more winners in Craft Vault later on. But we've got our 3rd winner in this particular show. All you have to do is comment, say hello, ask a question, tell us you love us. Well, we knew that already. But winning this Bold Botanicals embossing folder and the Just For You expressions die
Oh, that's fab. Why haven't I seen that before?
Which one? That one?
That folder.
Yeah, nice, isn't it?
That's really nice.
I quite like that on a summery shirt.
Oh, yes, I can see that, yes.
But the winner is Cheryl Brenda.
Oh,
Yes.
well done, Cheryl.
Cheryl, email prizes@crafterscompanion.com and we will get this sent out to you. Just email in, our guys will say hello, we'll get your details and we will wing that out to you. 1 more prize to give away in this show before we say goodbye in about 20 minutes, but it is now time to have a look at some more demonstrations. With Fiona, Les55 on YouTube just saying, loving the show, bought both sets of pads on the show as well as the metallics, and now I know when to use them. That's what we're here for. Les55, your question, I think, was one of the very first questions that we answered right at the top of the show. Now you know what you're doing, now you've bought the ink pads. That makes us happy. That makes us happy. Right, and that's the whole point. We want you to be confident, we want you to know what you're doing when you get these home, and that's the point really, isn't it? We don't want you to get these home and then go, what do I do again? What does what? How do I do it? This is the whole point of this show, and that's why it is working. And that's why I love it. Right, so we are going over to the other side of the studio now. What are you going to show us, Fiona?
Okay, so we've shown how your pigment inks, because they're a sticky ink which stays on the surface, you can use on all sorts of card, and including black card. Also, black card, craft card, any kind of white card, you can use them really well. One of the things that I said was, your watercolour, your water reactive inks, which was this one that we did here, white card or craft card. So I thought I would show you how you can change, how you can get a different look depending on what cardstock you use. And so what we've got here is we've got some craft card and some watercolour card here. That could be white stamping card as well. It's just that I happen to have watercolour card there too. The white stamping card is good for your water reactive inks because it has a low chalk content.
Right.
Ooh, that's the technical thing. Oh. It has a low chalk content. Can you tell a card has a low chalk content by looking at it? No, you can't. No, you can't. So, oh, look at that. This is that plum jam colour, which is in that water reactive set. Isn't that? Oh, that's
rather
like
special, that, isn't it?
I need a lipstick, that colour. I definitely need a lipstick, that colour. That is fab, isn't it? Oh, my word. Wonderful. And then we're going to
Producer George is after some of these now as well.
She?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, I'm sure we need to find George some of these, definitely. Isn't that good? So now look at the different colour. Same ink pad. Look at the different colour that I'm getting on craft card, but look how well that's blending as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
That is
I love
gorgeous.
the fact that you brought so much craft card into our life over the last 2 days as well, Fiona.
Love
I don't
it.
see enough of it as far as I'm concerned.
Definitely.
That's great.
Love it, love it, love it. Right, so we're now I'm just changing up, and you can see I'm using the square tool. I'm using the square tool because actually it's fine. It lets me put a lot of colour down nice and quickly. So that is basically it, if anybody's wondering. So here we go. So we're going to go with the lemon tonic because it wouldn't be a show with me if we didn't use the lemon tonic.
I think you've covered off all your main ones in this show, haven't you now?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's always going to happen. But you know, the straw bale is a beautiful yellow. It's just a softer one. And I just want you to be able to see this at home, which is why I'm using the stronger colours. And that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. If anybody asks, if anybody's out there, that's what I'm saying. So look, even on the craft card, that lemon tonic gives it, can you see?
Yeah.
It's like an orangey hue we've got going on there. Do you know, I'm loving craft card at the moment. It is my new favourite thing.
Why
my new old favourite thing.
Why has it come to the fore for you again then all of a sudden? You've just forgotten how great it is?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what it is. You go away from using things, and then you have like a project that you're working on, or something's happening, or you've tidied up your craft room and you suddenly found you've got a stash of it.
Yeah.
Not saying that was what happened to me, but just saying you might do that, and you're thinking, okay, I've got a lot of craft card. What can I be doing with that? Look at that. That is that fabulous parakeet on craft card. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do the same on the white card, so you can tell the difference. So if you have got one set of ink pads, you can change the look you're getting. Oh, look at my mucky fingers on there. Hey, never mind.
You went a bit Yorkshire then, Fiona. All of a sudden, look at me mucky fingers on there.
Look at that, mucky fingers. That what you're seeing there is where I've put my fingers on there. But you know, you'll just have to forgive me, and you know what we're going to do to cover that up. We're going to cover it up by putting some water on it.
Ah, yes.
Yes, and then it just becomes part of the background. And then I'm using the crushed velvet, which is also in that set of water reactive ink pads in there. The Bordeaux and the crushed velvet are in there. So we're just going to pop that.
It's a good question, just whilst you're applying that. So Joanne has just asked, how long can you keep an ink pad that is still sealed with the plastic before it dries out? So if you get these home and they've got the plastic around them and you don't open them, how long will they last for? That's a tough question.
That's a really tough one. I have some which are still in. They've always seemed fine to me.
Yeah.
I've used them. You know, it's been years later that I've gone back to them and gone, oh, I haven't opened that one yet. Let me have a play. But I don't think these have been around long enough for me to give you a definitive answer.
But the whole point is, Joanne, and I'll answer this question, if you're getting these home today, don't think to yourself, oh, I'll just store them away and then I wonder if I'll come back to them in a year or 2 years' time and see if they work. The whole point is you get them today and then you open them up straight when you get them home because you know exactly what you need to be doing them, because you've watched all of Fiona's demos, and then if you've even forgotten, you think, oh, I can't remember what she did, you can watch back this show and see everything that you need to know. So I would say don't even worry about that, because you'll be opening these up and using them straight away when you get them home.
Now, I'm trying to show you both of those at the same time. Look, exactly the same ink
Oh,
pads.
yeah. As much as I like the one on the white, the craft card's lovely.
The craft card is just really gentle. Let me see if I can hold it up forwards for you. And you can see, there, look.
Yeah.
See, I'm liking that craft card look.
I am.
It's really rather fabulous, isn't it? Really rather good. So, when you've got them like this, bring over my tub of water, and we will
Splosh.
splat that one.
Splat.
Splat that one.
Splodge.
That is just good fun. We're going to find our cardstock. This is marvellous. That is...
I'm
look,
interested to see
isn't that pretty?
how this is going to look on the craft card. I mean, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
Yep.
And we're going to do this. I'm going to use another piece only because that is now wet. And I don't want to transfer it. I want you to see exactly the same bits on both.
Interesting.
But you can tell.
Look. Ooh, okay.
Can you see? So look, you've got two. It's lifting off both, but you're getting two different looks because, of course, that is that brown craft card, and then you've got that bright white card where it's coming off underneath there as well. So I'm going to dry that, and then we're going to do some stenciling over the top. And just because I can, I'm going to use some pigment ink on both.
Whilst you are using that, Anna's asked, Is it normal for heat embossing to cause cards to ripple? Does that mean you're kind of heating too much?
Heat embossing to cause cards to ripple. Try moving your heat tool further away from your card. Might be the card you're using. I've not had it happen, but I would move your heat tool around further away.
Yeah.
And make sure you're not burning your card.
And always give it a wiggle as you're moving, like you're doing, yeah?
Yeah, when I'm drying something, I do tend to keep it moving.
Yeah.
You know, I was going to burn a piece of card then, just to show you how strong they are, but I'm not going to do that.
No, no.
I won't do that, because that's a silly idea, Fiona. That's a silly idea. If you leave a heat tool near a piece of white card, or you're talking to someone and you forget you've got the heat tool in your hand, and you go back to it, you absolutely will find that you've scorched a piece of card. So, you know, if you're standing there chatting to someone, you will have scorched your card. Right, now, look at this. Oh my word, this is just...
Oh, this is one of my faves.
This is the music and lyrics.
Yes.
It really is just fabulous. So I'm going in now with the pigment inks, and you can use your pigment inks over the top of your water reactives. You absolutely can, and I would do them that way. I would put your water reactive background and then use your pigment inks, because if you try and put your water on top of your oil background, what happens? Will water and oil mix? No, they will separate. So if you are going to use your pigment inks over your water reactive, put your water reactive down first and then put your pigment ink on the top.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes. I'm just marvelling at this, because this is my favourite stencil, I think, within this collection. I love the way how the stave is sort of floating through the air. Look at that.
Oh, so we're going to use exactly the same and exactly the same on here. How long have we got left?
Not long. 10?
Oh, where has that 2 hours gone? It has flown. Okay, should we do a last minute call for any burning questions that might be out there that I can answer?
We've had some brilliant questions, and also actually, don't worry if you've only just joined in and you're thinking, oh, I bet that question's already been asked. I think it's great to kind of recap on stuff. So whatever the question is, any burning questions, get in touch on Facebook and YouTube, and of course, don't forget, your question might be a winner for you as well, because we are going to give someone else who's watching and commenting another prize. So any questions, and also what we need to do before the end of the show, of course, is vote for your demo of the show. So we're looking at some of the things that Fiona's made, which we need to do in the next 15 minutes as well. There's been some lovely samples in this show.
Do you know what? And the lovely thing about this is it's just that collection of stuff. If you've got the collection of bits and pieces to hand that you can play with, it's just fun. And you know, this is what I do. Go into your craft room, take out your cards, take out a set of stencils. If necessary, one stencil, couple of different cards that you've got going on, and do exactly the same on both, and see which look you like best, which is what we've done here. We've used exactly the same, oh, I had that wet, never mind. Exactly the same inks, samples, exactly the same stencils. The only difference between these two cards is going to be the colour of the cardstock I started with.
Yeah.
And you're going to get two completely different looks. Ooh, now look at that.
You wanted questions, by the way. You're getting loads coming in now.
Okay, fantastic. Fire away.
Maureen Isherwood says, how does Fiona clean her stencils?
I clean my stencils by going into the bathroom, putting some hot soapy dishwater in there and rubbing them with an old kitchen scourer which has been well used and well loved and is nice and soft. Or my fingers.
Jody says, did I miss what is the difference of water reactive and water resistant? I understand waterproof, lol.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, water resistant, waterproof. Waterproof means you can tip a bucket of water over it and it's not going to budge. Water resistant is, with that same bucket, you might move a bit.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I would say. I could be wrong, but that would be, if I went out with a jacket which was water resistant and it was tipping down, I might think that I might get a bit damp.
Well, it's like your waterproof and water resistant watches as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Your water-resistant watch, you'd probably say I'd wear that in the shower, but you wouldn't wear it in the swimming pool. But
That's
your waterproof, you would go in the swimming pool with it. But so then to cover the other part of that question, so what she's saying, what is the difference between water reactive and water resistant? So one's reactive to the water, the other's resistant to it.
Yes, yeah. The water reactive ones, when you flick water at them, will move.
Yeah.
The water resistant ones, like the pigment inks,
Yeah.
because they're an oil based, if you go back and have a look, you'll notice that I flicked water on that background, on the pigment background, and it didn't move at all.
Yeah.
In fact, I've got it down here somewhere. Whereas if I do that on the water reactive one, it is going to move. So, hey, there we go. So with 2 cards made exactly the same way, using exactly the same inks, we've used a mixture of pigment inks, we've used a mixture of water reactive inks, and I've stamped my sentiment using my quick dry Noir Black, just because that was the first one which was to hand.
Looking good.
There we go. So, let's have a look. Those 2, both made exactly the same way. The only difference is one is on craft card, which is giving a lovely more muted feel to it, and the other one's on white card, white stamping card or white watercolour card. There we go.
2 more quick questions, and then
Yes, go.
actually, whilst we're there, do you want to just show us all of the sort of cards that you've made so that people can vote for their favourite now?
Yes, why not? I haven't really made very many.
No, I know, but
I've only made a couple.
well, okay. Well, let's vote on these 2 then.
Yes.
Those 2.
There we go.
So which one do you like best? Number 1. Should we say number 1's your butterfly?
Okay, that one.
Yeah. Or number 2 for your Just Breathe.
Just Breathe.
All right. So 1 or 2. Which is your favourite? Please vote on that. And a couple of questions. Oh, 3 questions. 4 questions coming
Wow.
now. Right. So.
Hit me.
What?
Not necessarily,
no.
but you can. Tell me what you want me to know.
Christina says, what kind of ink pad should be used for the sparkle pens?
Okay, sparkle pens are water reactive. They're water based. So you need a waterproof ink pad. So you are going to use, and I've hidden it again, because I do that. If you're using, what was it? The lady was using...
Sparkle pens. What kind of ink pads should be used for sparkle pens?
Sparkle pens are water-based, so you need this ink pad. You need the waterproof ink pad for that. Alternatively, if you want to use them with something else, you can use them with your opaque, but you need, if you're using your opaque, you need to cover it with clear embossing powder and then use it, and that will be fine. But this is the one to go with. Lovely, right.
Oh, couple more.
Go on.
How, says Mandy Doodle Hands, how long do pigment inks take to dry?
God, my hands are filthy. Right. Okay. This is pigment ink, and it's been on that card, what? Few minutes?
Yeah, 5 minutes.
That long?
Up to 5 minutes.
About 5 minutes, yeah. I mean, you can heat dry it, but you know, that's not bad, is it? That's not bad at all. There we go.
And one final question which has come in.
Yes.
From Will, the crafty crafter. Can you
Yes.
do the faux bleach look with quick dry inks?
I would say no. Now, let me explain why. Quick dry inks dry quickly on watercolor cut, and they don't reactivate. That is why they are so good when you're using your layering stamp. So this is a quick dry ink pad. This is ocean blue. Now, I wouldn't recommend you do this, but anyway, we're just going to stamp that on there. So there we go. Let's get the water. It will move a bit. It will move a bit because it's water reactive.
Yeah.
But it's not going to move like the other one did.
No. Oh, no, you see a little bit there.
Moving a little bit, but not like the other one.
No.
There you go. And when you leave it to dry, it doesn't reactivate. That's why they're so good for layering stamps, because if you're stamping over the top, they're not reactivating the layer underneath.
There you go, Will. I tell you what, it was nice, wasn't it, Will, the crafty craft, to get your question answered, and even nicer for the fact that I've just destroyed the set And also, all right, and also, Will, you're our 4th winner! Yay!
Well done, Will.
You've won yourself this gorgeous shutter card making kit. So that is on its way to you, Will. All you got to do if you want to grab this, if you want to grab it, when you want to grab it, is just email us prizes@crafterscompanion.com. There you go, details on the bottom of the page there. So well done to all of our 4 winners. And the brilliant thing is, of course, if you didn't win during this show, we have got 4 more chances to win during the next show, which is going to be Second Chance Sunday, and 2 more chances to win during Craft Vault. Am I going over here now? All right, because I've just destroyed the set over there. We'll go into that in a minute, are we? So rather than show, this is what I mean about producer George, right? She could go to the pictures right now, but she's laughing because I've destroyed the set and she's going to make me go live to the mess that I've made when she could show the picture. No, George, let's not. No, let's go. No, I'm going to do it. No, I'm going to do it, George. I'm going to do it. Let's please show it live. I'll go over here first, over this side. Thank you. And I will show you these gorgeous opaque pigment ink pads. Now, 13-piece essential collection. Within this collection, you are going to get the gorgeous crushed velvet. Also in here, you've got your damson wine, you've got your fuchsia, you've got your honey pot, you've got your jet black, oasis, ocean blue, parakeet, pale fig, plum jam, pink tulip, sandstorm, and straw bale. Those are all included for £50 or $70. That comes down to £40 or $56. And don't forget, with all of these deals, because they're over £15 and $15, you get your paper pad included as well. That is included with every basket over £15 or $15. Now, also on the show, thank you, I managed to, I've sorted it out now. I've done that. Let's go over this side. Here we go. Whilst I was multitasking, right? I was multitasking. So over here we have your water reactives. Let's move my cup of coffee here. The colours on your water reactives are your straw bale, your plum jam, your seal brown, anthracite, spar blue, your twilight grey, your misty morning, your smoke plume, smoked emerald, baby blue, sandstorm, crushed velvet, and your damson wine. Again, all of those included £50, $70, less 20% if you're a platinum member, and with your free ink pad included with that too. The next kit, I would say, is a bit of a craft room essential, particularly if you're going for any of these ink pads today. What you have got with this collection is, of course, your misters. You're going to get 4 of your misters. You're then also going to get your blending sponges. So with the blending sponges, you get 4 of those, the little eggs. You're then going to get your mat to do all of your techniques on. You're going to get your mixing palette, and then of course you've got your daubers. So your round dauber, your rectangular dauber, and with each of those you're also going to get 10 spare heads with them too. Really, really cool bundle is that. £31 or $47 is the deal on that one. Just want to show you too, if you are thinking about getting some great kind of ranges to work with, then again, take a look at these. This is your 3D folders and stencil collection. So within each one, you get your folder and then 2 stencils to go with it as well. So you can emboss your cardstock, use the 2 stencils to give you that gorgeous 3-dimensional feel. So within this collection, you've got your lovely roses. This one here is your beautiful lilies. Then, look at that, I mean, come on, that is gorgeous, is your hummingbird. And then you've also got your butterfly, which you saw a little bit earlier on, your floral butterfly. And then last but by no means least is your precious poppy. So that's $37.46 or $48.56 today if you want to go for that. The background stencils and focal stamps, again, what a collection this is. You've seen these on the show, a few of these now actually in the demos that Fiona's brought to you. 56 elements in total, so you get the stencil and then the stamps included as well with this. 56 in total, as I say. So you've got your Make-A-Wish, which we saw a little bit earlier on. This one is gorgeous, Your Life is a Journey. Then we've got It's Time. Next up, love this one, real autumnal feel to this, Back to Nature. Then you've got your Life Happens. This one's lovely as well, isn't it? Write your own story with the splodges and splats. Then we've got your Happiness Blooms, that gorgeous trellis with the floral. This is the one we saw in the last demo, the music and lyrics. and when we're back to the start. 35.64 or 45.64 is the deal on that one. And we're almost done. Just before we go, lovely messages coming in. What an amazing show, says Donna. Thank you so much for all the amazing information. Donna, you are welcome. Cindy Thompson says on Facebook, Ben and Fiona make a great team. Top team. We are top team. And Deborah on YouTube says, I've been crafting and rubber stamping for quite a while now. Can't believe I just found out about Crafter's Companion. Glad I now know. And we are glad, Deborah, that you have joined us. And thank you for all of your votes, by the way. It's now time to announce the demo of the show. Number 2, Just Breathe.
That one.
The winner. That's the winner.
There we go.
Yep. Fantastic. We shall pop that up onto our Crafty Walk of Fame, and it could be crowned as the demo of the week when we come back with Second Chance Sunday in about an hour's time. Fiona, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I feel now that if I'm anything to go by, everyone has learned a lot over the last 2 hours.
Oh, I hope so. It's been great fun. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Talk about playing for 2 hours. Wonderful.
I know. Brilliant. Thank you so much, Fiona. I will be back with you in an hour's time with Second Chance Sunday. We've got some brilliant deals coming up there, really good deals from the past few weeks, and of course a craft vault to come too. All that is on the way. We'll take a break for an hour and we shall join back here in an hour for Second Chance Sunday. Bye for now.